Welcome back to another episode of All That Jazz. It's me, Giovanni, and I just want to apologize. It's been well over 2 months since the last recording, and I'm basically just gonna kind of spill the beans on what's been going on in my life over the last 2 months. A lot of surprising news, a lot of good things that I'm just ready to share with all of you. I do apologize for the long hiatus, but I'm back at it, and I'm going to tell you why. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. We are now at episode 14, and I'm just really excited to be here. Recording this evening, I did miss this a lot. A lot of things have been running through my mind as of recently. But before I dive into that, I wanted to share something that just was recently celebrated this weekend, and that was our eldest daughter, Sofina. She turned 5 years old officially yesterday, and just so many wonderful things. So much reflection time that I know my wife and I have had over the weekend. So let me just kind of briefly summarize that. Saturday was the first time that we took her to see a performance, a live performance. It was the Nutcracker, the globally renowned Nutcracker performance. And they had a performance here in Ilsan that we went to see, just the three of us. Obviously, Gianno couldn't go. He wasn't old enough, but it was 5 years and above. And so we just thought, why the hell not? Let's take Sofina. She loves to dance. She loves ballet. She loves dressing up as a ballerina. And I know it would have been a real special treat. We were kind of nervous taking her there because we weren't sure how she would be able to handle the 2 hour performance. Luckily, there was an intermission in between, for stretching the legs, refreshments, photos, all that good stuff. We had a really, really fun time. She handled it very well. The minute the lights kind of dimmed and the performance was about to start, she kind of got a little nervous, started frantically kind of looking around, finding the exits, hand over the ears, anticipating any kind of loud noises. But once, the curtain lifted, she saw, the dancers, the music, right away she just kind of forgot everything, started to clap along and just kind of express her enthusiasm throughout the whole evening. So that was kind of a big win for us. On Sunday, we held a birthday party at our home. We invited a couple of family friends over, including my cousin. And just for those several hours, we ate some food. We took the kids, we as in the dads and I, we took the kids out to the nearby playground while the moms got to, clean up and rest and have some coffee and chit chat, and to kind of give them a break as well. Um, so we were out for about an hour, and then we came back, had some cake, opened some gifts, and just kind of played and took some videos, had a little dance party before everybody went home, and it was just a splendid time. And then yesterday, on Sofina's official birthday, we kept her home from school. I thought, I never went to school on my birthday. Obviously, I'm a June baby, so it was summer vacation, and I didn't really want Sophie to go to school on her birthday. That was her special day for her grandparents to kind of take her out and spend the time with her. And then by the time my wife and I got home in the evening, we just had a nice quiet dinner, and my wife went out to get a slice of cake for her at the nearby cafe. That way we can celebrate one last time. But my goodness, 5 years old. Time just really flies. Every year we like to watch a video, like a birthday compilation video we made for her on her first birthday. And first it's just kind of sentimental because at the end of that video there's like a message that my wife and I have for Sofina. And so every year we watch it with her to see, what age is she really going to understand the message at the end of that film, and we think this is the first time that she was actually able to hear it and comprehend what her mom and I had said. And it was a touching moment because we thought like, wow, our girl is just so big now. She's already 5 years old. I mean, luckily we do have a second child who'll be turning 2 in April. But it's for any dad out there, obviously you can relate to that. Just watching your girl grow, just from a baby that you're holding your arms in the hospital one day to a girl who's just full of life and can speak and run and have her own personality and express herself. It's quite a transition. It's a very endearing and touching moment in life, especially at this stage. What I want to talk about next is why I've been away for 2 months. Obviously, I think the last episode was right maybe mid-October, just as we were approaching the holidays. But I'll catch up on our holidays at the end of this podcast. But on to more important things. I have officially purchased my ticket. I will be returning to the U.S. Mid-April. So this is it, right? This is my last hoorah as an expat in Korea. When we originally got here 4 years ago, we planned on staying for 5 years, but I'm going to cut it a year short. I decided to leave the second week of April because my son's birthday is on the 6th, and I did want to celebrate his second birthday before flying home, and I knew it was only right to do it this way. Um, the thought of having to leave my family behind, it's a little heartbreaking because I will be going alone. My wife and I did agree that this is the best option for me. It's better for me just to go, get established, get my career going, make some decent money on the side, save enough, throw it down on our first home, and kind of go from there. I remember just wanted to keep holding off on booking my ticket because I knew it would only be a matter of time until that became like a countdown for me, until I have to depart uh, from my kids. And just the very thought of having to say goodbye to them at the gate at the airport, I used to get choked up about it. Now it's just kind of like the inevitable. It has to be done. At least luckily my daughter's old enough to understand that daddy's leaving. This is what he has to do. It's all for their own benefit. And luckily my son, he's still in autopilot mode. He doesn't really grasp the concept of his dad leaving. But on the plus side, we're kind of hoping we had to, as far as like my wife, again, she's not American, she is Korean. She was a former green card holder, but it did expire. We attempted to renew it, but she was denied, so we had to start the whole green card process all over again. We anticipated a 12 to 15 month process. That's why I kind of figured, all right, I'll just fly to Portland, get an apartment for at least a year. But we actually had some good news just yesterday. We, apart from filing, the petition for the green card, we also filled out some other paperwork to kind of expedite the process, hopefully to cut it down in half to at least maybe 6 to 8 months or so. I'm hoping that, when immigration gets the paperwork, they kind of see that, her and I have been married for several years. Both our children are American citizens. We do have 2 children, so that kind of, help us, I'm assuming. But we did get confirmation that they did start the paperwork. They did start the filing. They are reviewing her paperwork. So this is great news. Maybe I won't have to wait a year or 6 months. It could be even sooner. I know at the time of this recording, I have just less than 4 months until I depart. But I'm not afraid. I mean, not that I should be afraid, but I remember every single time that I did leave Korea, I was always afraid of the unknown. I didn't know what was lying ahead for me. I didn't know when my next paycheck where it was gonna come from, what I planned on doing. But this time, I just know that I cannot fail. As a man who has 2 children, a wife to support, like there's no option to just not do anything about it and just arrive with nothing in my hands, no opportunity like that. I was not gonna go down that road again. So for the last 2 months, I've been doing nothing except updating my resume like half a dozen times a day, at least half a dozen. I've been looking at the real estate market. I've been looking at houses in and around the suburbs, Hillsborough, Beaverton. If you are from the Portland area, obviously you'll know those areas very well. I knew I didn't want to really raise a family in downtown Portland. I've decided to join a firefighting career, but in the meantime, I'm just going to go back to, banking, maybe some fraud prevention or HR experience just to kind of pay the bills until I can apply for the recruitment academy. And I've just really have just been kind of stressing out about it. Every single day I look in the mirror and I just keep seeing a lot more gray than I'm used to. I'm getting it now in my facial hair, my goatee. It's it's remarkable how much stress I'm giving myself just for planning on going back home to the U.S. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I love being an expat here. I love the easy life. In the previous episode, I talked about, our budget, how much we spend for this 3 bedroom apartment. Yeah, I don't make a whole lot of money here, but it's just easy and we can survive, and I don't have to worry about any of that. To where back home, I need to at least make 6 figures just to at least live comfortably. The thought of having to live paycheck to paycheck is a harsh reality. I know a lot of millions of Americans do it. I'm probably just gonna be another one, but at least again, if I'm solo, it'll be easier than having my family with me and starting out. Um, so that's just kind of the plan. I plan just to at least move in downtown Portland for maybe a good year, scope out the neighborhoods, see which areas are very fitting for us. I do want to hold off on getting a car. I don't need to make any unnecessary purchases. I don't want unnecessary payments each month on top of rent. I'm paying $255 a month right now in rent, and knowing that's going to go up to, I don't know, 1,500 to 2 grand a month is it's unreal. It's definitely unreal, and I just got to plan it right. So that's just kind of our scenario. But I am excited. We're going home. I'm doing it for the kids. My wife wants this more than anything because, as they grow up, we want them to kind of determine where they want to live. Do they want to live in Korea? Do they want to live in America? They get both world experiences. A little bit of schooling in Korea, a little bit of schooling in America. And then down the road, it's their choice. It's their cultural identity. If they want to identify as Korean Americans, it's their call. We have no say in that. We're just going to guide them and just give them the best childhood that we can. So yeah. So again, I do apologize for being away for so long, but that's just what's been going on. If I could just recap on the holidays since episode 13, I addressed that last year for Halloween, there was a really terrible accident, a very big tragedy in Itaewon, which was a big party city during Halloween time. Many people had passed away due to I guess, a overcrowding issue. And so this year in Korea, they canceled it. They canceled Halloween entirely. Some schools canceled events. Our school for sure was, they canceled their Halloween event. We couldn't dress up. We couldn't even talk about Halloween. I thought that was a little foolish. But my family and I, we actually went to Yongsan Family Park with a bunch of other international families. There was about maybe 12 or about just over a dozen other families. And it was just nice seeing the kids like dress up, and we had like a nice trick-or-treating event. We played games, listened to music, or maybe I was just singing to myself. I don't know. One of the two, but I know the kids just had an absolute blast. And then on Thanksgiving, we decided to have something small. My wife and I, we invited my cousin and his wife over to our place. We just ordered some food, made some food at home, got some finger foods, and just kind of drank and just had a really good time. Just chatted for a couple hours. My my wife's cousin, she's an excellent baker. Anything you could think of, she can make it. And so she brought over these wonderful pumpkin flavored muffins, homemade. My God, were they delicious! So delicious. And back at home in America, like fall is the time for like pumpkin, right? Pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin pies, you name it. And I just really crave it because it's so hard to come by here. At least for me, I don't really have the hookups or anything. Christmas is less than 2 weeks away. The month of December is a really busy one for us because now I'm just trying to make everything count until we leave. Excuse me, until I leave. So I just want to try to have this best time as I can with my family. This Saturday, we're going to take the kids to Everland. In the past, especially during COVID, we would take Sophie every single year to Everland. There she could meet like Santa Claus and go on all the rides. And now that she's older, she'll have access to more rides than before. And we're just really looking forward to that. And then the weekend after that is our winter break. We'll have about 10 days off. We're not going to go anywhere for Christmas. We're just going to kind of keep it local. We're not really looking to spend a whole lot of money. Maybe a day trip here or there. Or maybe we might do some sledding at an event somewhere. Maybe one mountain in our neighborhood here in Ilsan. But that's pretty much it. I know for New Year's, a good friend of mine, he reached out to us last weekend inviting my family over to him and his wife's place just so we can kind of spend 2023 together before the upcoming year. So that's really what's been going on in a nutshell. So I'm just going to go ahead and end the episode here. Again, I know I keep apologizing, but I do want to thank you all for listening to my episodes. If you've listened to all 13 of them so far, or maybe you've just joined me for the first time. But I promise going forward, I'll have a lot more topics to discuss, especially about parenting, right? If you are a first time listener and you just happen to stumble upon my podcast, I basically just kind of discuss life as a dad, right? Life as an expat, being married to a Korean woman, and raising kids in an international family. So I implore you to follow me and any of my social media links. Linktree is kind of my go-to site where you can access all my socials. I do have a YouTube channel where I upload all my weekly podcasts. So check me out there, like and subscribe my videos. It helps me in the long run. With that being said, have a good night, and I will see you all next week.